We asked multiple AI systems to pick the best motorcycle helmets of 2026. And honestly, the answers were weirdly good. Arai, AGV, Schubert, HSC, Shoei, the safest possible answers. But after looking deeper, we realized something. AI understands motorcycle helmet marketing incredibly well, but actual rider experience, that's where things start falling apart. Because choosing a helmet is not just specs. It's pressure points after 2 hours, highway turbulence, visor sealing, neck fatigue, heat buildup, and whether you still like the helmet after 6 months. And that's the part AI still struggles to understand. So first we asked AI what are the best motorcycle helmets of 2026 for real-world riders. And immediately one thing became obvious: AI loves premium reputation. Arai Quantic, Schubert C5, AGV Pista GP-RR and Shoei RF1400. Basically the Motorcycle Helmet Hall of Fame. And look, these are not bad recommendations, far from it. But this is also where AI starts sounding less like a rider and more like a luxury brochure. Because real riders don't always buy helmets for the same reasons AI ranks them highly. A lot of riders care less about racing DNA and more about, does this thing become annoying after an hour on the highway? That's a completely different question. Take the AGV Pista GP-RR. AI absolutely loves this helmet. And on paper, fair enough. MotoGP tested, extreme aerodynamics, huge field of view, carbon shell, FIM certification. It sounds like the ultimate helmet. But this is where AI completely misses context. Because most normal riders would hate daily riding in a Pista. It's loud, aggressive, hot and slower traffic, and honestly exhausting for normal road use. Amazing track helmet? Absolutely. Best helmet for commuting, touring, weekend rides and everyday ownership? Completely different conversation. And this is the first moment where we realized AI keeps rewarding fantasy riding, not actual riding. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of stuff we talk about on this channel. Not just specs, not marketing, actual ownership experience after real riding. So if that's your thing, subscribe, because we're doing a lot more of these. Then AI started recommending helmets like the HSC Arfa 91, and honestly, this is where the recommendations suddenly became way more realistic. Because instead of chasing MotoGP fantasy helmets, AI finally started prioritizing what normal riders actually notice after hours on the road. Noise, comfort, fatigue, convenience, the boring stuff. Except it's not boring once you've done a 4-hour highway ride in crosswinds. And this is the funny part. A lot of experienced riders eventually move away from aggressive racing helmets and toward helmets like this. Not because they got less passionate about riding, but because they realize comfort changes everything. Less neck fatigue, better visibility, easier commuting, less exhaustion after long rides, that stuff matters way more in real life than most spec sheets suggest. But even here, AI still showed another weakness. Because it kept confidently recommending slightly older generations like the Arfa 71 in some results, even though the newer Arfa 72 already exists. Which tells you something important. AI often understands general reputation, but struggles to keep up with how fast the actual helmet market evolves. And riders who follow helmets closely notice those changes immediately. Then things got even more interesting, because AI kept heavily favoring racing-focused premium helmets while almost ignoring helmets riders constantly praise for value. And honestly, this is where AI starts losing track with real riders. Because ask actual riders online what surprised them recently. You constantly hear helmets like Scorpion Exo R1, HSC Arfa 71 and LS2 Dragon. Not because they're perfect, but because riders put them on and think, wait, this is way better than I expected. That emotional surprise matters, and AI doesn't really understand that yet. AI mostly understands reputation, humans understand ownership. And this next part was honestly fascinating, because AI kept ranking Arai incredibly high. Which makes sense, Arai has an incredible reputation for safety and build quality. But what AI doesn't understand is how personal Arai helmets are. Some riders absolutely swear by them for life. Others put one on for 5 minutes and immediately feel forehead pressure. That's the kind of thing specs can't predict. And this is why helmet recommendations online get so messy. Because two riders can wear the exact same helmet and have completely opposite experiences. Then we asked AI something more specific: what's the best helmet for most riders? And suddenly the answers became way more touring focused. Schubert C5, Shoei GT-R, HSC Arfa 91, and honestly that was way smarter. Because AI finally started prioritizing real-world comfort, noise, convenience, fatigue reduction, daily usability, the stuff riders actually notice after thousands of kilometers. But even here, AI still misses nuance. Because quieter on paper does not always mean quieter on your bike. A helmet that feels stable on a touring bike can suddenly become turbulent on a naked bike. And this is the kind of stuff only actual riding reveals. One thing AI consistently struggled with was emotional ownership experience. And riders know exactly what this means. Some helmets technically perform well, but riders still don't love them. Others have flaws, but owners absolutely adore them anyway. Why? Character, feeling, fit shape, confidence, the way airflow hits helmets at highway speed, the way the visor mechanism feels every single day, these are tiny things individually. But together, they completely change how a helmet feels to live with. And honestly, after doing this experiment, the weird conclusion was this: AI is actually pretty good at narrowing down good helmets. Probably much better than people expected. But great helmet choice, that's still deeply human. Because the best helmet is rarely just the safest or the most expensive or the one with the best spec sheet. It's the one that disappears on your head while riding. And that's something you only really understand from experience, testing, long rides and actual rider feedback, which is exactly why we still trust real-world helmet testing more than generic AI recommendations. So now we're curious, what's a helmet you thought would be amazing but disappointed you in real life? Or the opposite, what helmet completely surprised you once you actually rode in it? Because honestly, those stories are way more valuable than just spec sheets.